This Russell Brand controversy is getting extreme as the UK government is reaching out to all the social media platforms, including Twitter, I'm not calling it X, and Rumble seems to be the only one who's fighting back. I'm really excited because we've got Black Belt Barrister here to break down what's going on in the UK. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore. Now, welcome back, Black Belt Barrister Daniel. Always a pleasure to have you here. It's interesting, Daniel. I've literally been covering this now all week, this Russell Brand story. The only time I get the yellow stamp of death on my video is when I talk about this very issue. And we're not even going to say any words or anything that would be questionable, but just talking about the guidelines themselves seems to be a block on the YouTube algorithm. It's really quite weird. Talking about it triggers it in a way where they're like, oh, we're going to block you for a few days, and then definitely throttles the video. So guys, right out the gate, please share, like, engage, get this video up, because these videos about this are literally the only videos on my whole channel this week that are getting deplatformed. Have you noticed that? Also, welcome. But are you seeing how crazy this is getting out there, Daniel?
It is crazy. Now, the comment I can give on that with the monetization and everything else, I have to say, I'm going to choose words carefully here. If you're questioning the decisions, then I think someone is looking at it. That's all I can say. And I think, as I've said in my videos, I've done a few videos on this myself now as well. And what I've said there is there must be something behind all of this. It is, I mean, people chalking it up as a coordinated attack, a targeted attack. Well, quite literally it is, and that they've expressly said it is a collaborative, investigative journalism piece, albeit there are complainants, we'll call them, behind it, behind these allegations. Now, we don't usually say victims until someone is actually held accountable for any of these things. So we say complainants, and we don't know whether those complaints, those allegations are well-founded or not. And so the one thing that I've said categorically in my videos is that I can't take sides. I can't, condemn nor support, as I know you've said as well, Andy, because there is nothing for us to hang any of that decision on. We can only say, well, this is what's been reported. This is what's happened. YouTube's taken one side, Rumble's taken another. But what really raises these questions are these letters from this parliamentary committee.
Yeah.
Now, just so if you want me to clarify a little bit, this parliamentary committee has a role, and its role is to look into various issues that might cause concern across the UK with anything to do with media and sport. So any kind of broadcasting, any kind of sports arena, and quite literally the culture that permeates throughout the UK as a result of what goes on in those spheres. But for them to get involved like this, now, whilst in my video I said it's government level, well, it is government level, but it is not the government, just to be clear. It's a parliamentary committee. So, but it is within the House of Commons. It is within Parliament, and Parliament is the supreme law-making body in the UK. So it is surprising. A lot of people have asked me, am I surprised by this? Yes, I'm quite surprised that it's reached this level this quickly, and not just one letter. These letters have fired out, as you know. You've spoken about them. I've seen your videos.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild. The TikTok, and then they all feel like sort of obligated to be like, no, we're not paying him. We're not doing. It's like everyone's sort of being shamed into being like, well, are you accused? And they're all treating him like he's convicted. That's what's really weird to me. Like, you can have thoughts on Russell Brand. I've said this the whole time. Like, I thought some of the allegations look serious. If they're real, right? If it's verified and they're real, I personally found them serious. It doesn't matter what I think, though. I'm a commentary channel. I give my commentary. At the end of the day, that's all it is an opinion and commentary. The man should still be able to monetize on his channel until he's convicted, or even at least properly charged, right? If it's all right, fine, it's serious charges and it's a lawsuit, I'd still say that's not okay. But Daniel, he hasn't even been charged. He's not even charged with anything. So it's like, how on earth is this decision coming in? Just so you guys understand. So Elon Musk over, I don't call it X. I'm sorry, Elon. I know, whatever. Twitter. X is the dumbest name. Twitter, got this letter. We'll go there first before we get to Rumbles. And yeah, I'm writing, this is from the Parliament, writing to Linda over Twitter. I'm writing concerning allegations. These even says it here, allegations regarding Russell Brand in the context of his how many followers, culture media space. It's raising questions with the broadcasters, production companies who previously employed Mr. Brand to examine both the culture of the industry in the past and whether that culture still prevails today. However, we are also looking at his use in social media where he shared preemptive response to the accusations, a defense. That's what I'd say of Mr. Brand, as we are concerned that he may be able to profit from his content on the platform. Like, this is terrifying, Daniel. We are concerned he may be able to profit because there are some allegations out there. So can you confirm his monetized content? We'd like to know what will X intend to join YouTube in suspending. This is a mob concerted effort now run by the government into the UK out there to basically mob think and group shut him off because of their own words, allegations to ensure he's not making profit on the platform. We're repeating ourselves, but I guess I don't know how else to do it for effectiveness, Daniel. This is troubling to you, is it not?
It is. There's two ways of looking at this, though, and as I've said, I mean, if I may plug, I've done a lengthy "What do I really think" video on this over on my Black Belt Secrets, which is just gone live. Actually, it's the longer version of what I'm about to say to you for your viewers here, Andy, which is there are two ways of looking at this, and I don't know which is the truth. But it has to be one of them. It has to be one of them. It is either that there is information behind these letters and behind the news publications of the allegations that we don't know and we haven't seen. It's either that, and I suspect that if there is, I suspect that it's been shared with the likes of YouTube and that they've had a team sit down, look at it and think, we need to take some action on this. Damage control, preemptive, whatever you want to call it. So it's either that, it's either there's some information there that we don't know about, or and this is the only real alternative that I can think of is or that anyone behind these letters, behind the decisions at YouTube, behind the decisions anywhere else, have a very difficult decision. And it's one of these damned if you do and damned if you don't situations. Is either they take action off the face of the allegations or they don't. And if they, in reverse, or if they don't take action and later, if they are well-founded allegations and very serious and this goes much further and so on, then retrospectively, there will be criticism to say, well, you knew about this and you didn't do it. And let's bear in mind any allegations like this, if they were investigated by the police and if they were charged and if they were prosecuted and if there were a conviction, that will be some 4, maybe 5 years away from now, at the very least, given the backlogs in the UK at the moment. Now, given an estimate, if we just say an estimate of £1 million a year that he might make from the channel, that's several £1 million that he would have made, to run this case, to defend this case, prospective case, and all the while profiting of it on the platform. So then there would be criticism retrospectively, why didn't you do anything about it? And the flip side is, they do this, they have done this, and maybe just, put it right later. Maybe it's temporary, maybe it's, we don't have, thinking of the devil's advocate, YouTube's perspective here, they might have a team that says, well, we don't know, but we want to, protect our position and do this now. And so it's one of those things that it is really a catch-22 because they don't know, just much like you and I, we don't know.
Well, because I wanted to ask, like, what is that document? Like, because to me, it's like they're saying these letters saying, like, here's our concerns, but you're alluding to this idea that maybe they know more. Okay, I hear you. But, like, what is that? Like, if they're writing these letters to YouTube and Twitter, which seemingly are private and then getting published later, like, what are the means to provide that other intel? And what could that other intel be? Like, there's a police report? Why would they be sharing those things with these outlets instead of sharing it publicly? If someone makes a charge or there's something out there, doesn't that all just come out anyway?
Well, I'm not sure which letter it was in, but there was one where, at least for me, there was a hint in one of the letters. They talked about things being an open secret. I'm not sure which one it's in. I can't see it offhand. I've got two or three of them in front of me, but it was a hint to me when they spoke of some things being open secrets and shared to protect each other, etc. That sort of thing. I forget which letter that was in, but that was a hint to me that there may be more information that they have with people that they've spoken to, or something along those lines. But of course, we don't really know what that is.
Right.
But as for going back to your question before that, what these letters can do and what can happen. So this is just an inquiry from as an inquiry rather than inquiry from this committee to ask these questions, to garner more information, to get some responses, to see what these platforms say about all of this. And then they can decide whether or not to, make any formal inquiry and call evidence, call witnesses. And if so, they can make recommendations to government that can then make decisions, which is why in my video, I said it is as though the government might have some control and some backing to all of this. We don't know. But if this committee were to hold that inquiry, a formal one, and make recommendations off that, whilst they are not compulsory, they are certainly persuasive, and that then might lead to other decisions being made. But at the moment, these letters are certainly, well, they're certainly surprising to me, because it's not just one. It's very quickly.
Yeah.
It's to all the platforms. They're very slightly tweaked, and they are very, very focused on the money aspect.
Well, I was going to read, because this is the one to Rumble. Dear Chris, writing concern, the same kind of context as you can see from the Twitter one. His how many followers, yada yada, what the culture committee is doing, and we're looking at his use of social media, including Rumble, where he used his preemptive response to the accusations. We're concerned that he may be able to profit from his content on this platform. Again, allegations, concern profit. We'd be very grateful if you confirm whether Mr. Brand is able to monetize. Whether you will, if Rumble intends to join YouTube and suspending. Clearly they didn't do their homework, Daniel, because obviously this has now become probably the best commercial for Rumble they could have asked for, because Rumble immediately was like, are you nuts? And they jumped out immediately and said called it the disturbing letter. Well, Rumble obviously deplores SA and all these things, believes that both alleged victims and accused are entitled to a full and serious investigation. It is vital to note that the recent allegations against Russell Brand have nothing to do with the content on Rumble's platform. Facts. Just yesterday, YouTube announced that based solely on these media accusations, it was bearing Mr. Brand for monetizing his video content. Rumble stands for very different values. We have devoted ourselves to the vital cause of defending a free internet, meaning an internet where no one arbitrarily dictates which ideas can or cannot be heard, or which citizens may or may not be entitled to a platform. We regard it as deeply inappropriate and dangerous that the UK Parliament would attempt to control who is allowed to speak on our platform or to earn a living from doing so. Singling out an individual and demanding his ban is even more disturbing, given the absence of any connection between the allegations and his content on Rumble. We don't agree with this behavior of many. We don't agree with the behavior of many Rumble creators, but we refuse to penalize them for actions that have nothing to do with our platform. Although it may be politically and socially easier for Rumble to join a cancel culture mob, doing so would be a violation of our company's values and mission. We empathetically reject the UK Parliament's demands. And that's, if anybody knows this war of social media platforms, Rumble, that's their MO. Some people get frustrated by that. I got to say, this is what it's for, right? In an instance like this, regardless of my thoughts on anybody on Rumble, it doesn't matter. They have a point, right, Daniel? We need to be able to have these platforms have some sort of terms of service. This idea that they're going against the off-platform things when there's no charge is incredibly serious. And I guess final thoughts here as we wrap it up, because I know you got to go, and thank you for fitting in this in. Like, should we be worried? Like, creators should be worried. Russell says this is a targeted effort to silence him, to see YouTube and TikTok and others sort of quickly acknowledge, yeah, we're not going to monetize. They're crying, oh, it's not censorship, he just can't make money. but it is in a way. It's stopping his livelihood on these platforms to be able to make content. What should creators look out for, and how do you think we can protect ourselves from this?
I think it's a really difficult one, and I think, I mean, just to be the lawyer about this slightly, not this is not going to sway anybody's view. I understand, but the letters are not making demands as it appears to be from the Rumble statement. The letters are asking questions. Many people will see that as exactly the same thing, but being the lawyer about it, it is asking a question. So I would say, and this is not a defense. This is legally factual. This committee has written those letters to ask these questions to determine what the platform's point of view is. And they've certainly got rumbles. And obviously Streisand effect at work. They can't shut something down by writing something like that. It's obviously going to elevate their status, and they are going to make the most of the marketing that it generates, and that's what they've done. What can creators do? I think of this. Obviously, I've thought of this very carefully with my position as a barrister. And obviously we are regulated very, very severely, and even in our private lives. And so, me doing YouTube channels, YouTube videos, I have to think about what I say and how I say it. And even if I'm not providing legal advice, even if I'm not appearing in court, if I appear, to be dishonest or all that sort of stuff, obviously I'm going to be held to account regardless of whether it's my private life or not. And I think creators need to understand from the perspective of a platform that you are beholden to those guidelines, much like the examples I used in one of my videos is that if you are employed, particularly if you're employed in a role that, let's say, works with children, works with vulnerable people, or you fly airplanes or something like that, you will be beholden to various contractual clauses, often morality clauses, which might say you can't have any pending charges or any investigations and this sort of stuff if you're to work at this company. And I likened it to, I mean, again, people will disagree with this, so don't shoot the messenger. This is just how it works. But family courts, certainly here in England and Wales, and I suspect it'll be broadly similar in the States, that if you've got family courts looking over decisions for children and with whom they live, and if there are even pending criminal charges, allegations, and all that sort of stuff, they will be taking those into account, whether there's an actual conviction or not. So I think creators need to bear all of that in mind. And it's a lot to bear in mind, and it may often seem unfair. And I think we have to remember, we don't make the rules. It's not our platform. And so that's a bitter pill to swallow, but that is the truth at the end of the day. So we have to look at those very carefully. That's what I would say.
Well, to lighten the mood, I finally get to wear my barrister wig for you. Here it is. It's very, very badly made. I don't know how to get this. How do you get this hair right? My God, you got to wear this all the time. It's nuts. But there it is. From one non-barrister to an actual barrister. I applaud your insight here. Thank you for it. You're well said. And if you guys want more of the barrister or his secrets, you can head over to Black Belt Barrister as well as Black Belt Secrets, and you'll get more information from him. Always a pleasure. Thank you for always fitting us in. Make sure to subscribe there as here as well. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell for all alerts. Smash that thumbs up and leave a comment down below. What do you think? Does this make you just want to go to Rumble now? Even if you don't believe in its politics, I'm curious what you think. Either way, subscribe to this fella. He's a good one, and stay tuned for more here on Popcorn Planet.